Coffee House. In the next hour and a half, left-footed Howard Cohn learns the dance yoga style from Robin Dean Carnes on Body and Soul. Kathy Christensen takes a beat on Your Heart, the good and bad of cholesterol, with Dr. Robert DiBianco on In Sickness and in Health. Impresario David Eisner tunes us into the Celtic sounds of Sue Richards and Maggie Sansone on musical traditions. The professor Lisa Page is joined by Marita Golden, author of Saving Our Sons and founder of the Zora Neale Hurston Richard Wright Foundation. The dilettante Mark Cohen takes a condor's eye view of the turmoil in the Andes with Georgetown prof Mark Chernick, plus commentaries by Randy Boehm, Toni Bruce, Herman Schwartz, and Haynes Fraser, and poetry by Dwayne Redman. But first, the editors of the Takoma Voice have the news.
In late February, Takoma Park City Administrator Beverly Habita selected a new police chief for the city. Thomas W. Anderson Habita's choice is a 24-year U.S. Army veteran and 5-year chief of police in West Columbia, South Carolina, a town slightly smaller than Takoma Park. Anderson will take charge of Takoma Park's 52-member force on March 17th. According to Habita's office, Anderson shifted his department from the traditional policing methods to Cops on the Beat, a program similar to community-oriented policing. Anderson, who holds a master's degree in public administration, served as the military equivalent of town manager of Hunter Army Base. He has also commanded a 365 police chief unit at Fort Stewart, Georgia, and ran a multinational police station while serving in Vietnam. In the early 80s, Anderson worked at the Pentagon. City Administrator Habita says that Anderson is a good choice for Takoma Park because of his background in the military and as a head of a small municipal force. However, there have been concerns raised by some pacifistic community members that, because of his employment history in the military, Anderson will have to conduct his work outside of the Takoma Park nuclear-free zone.
The recent hiring of a new Takoma Park police chief has the city abuzz about the hiring process and a city council which gives all the power of hiring the police chief to a non-elected official. While the selection committee was comprised of a cross-section of Takoma Park's wards, the hiring process has come under fire from those who argue that the opportunity for meaningful public input was inadequate. Some of the criticism comes from supporters of acting police chief Dan Wortman, who served the city for 26 years and has twice been passed over for the chief's job. Bev Habita alone chose a 12-member volunteer police selection committee and made the final hiring decision. Karen Anderson, member of the Public Safety Advisory Committee and a strong supporter of Captain Wortman, says she was especially aggrieved that, quote, no one from that group was invited to help select the chief. Quote, Bev Habita is not an elected official, so where does she get all the power in selecting our police chief, asked Anderson. The answer is in the municipal charter. The city administrator is given the power, quote, to appoint, suspend, or remove all heads of offices, departments, or agencies who shall serve at her sole and absolute pleasure.
Fingers are also pointed at the part-time mayor and city council members who focus on policy issues like a ban on Burma and speed humps while leaving the job of everyday affairs to the city administrator, deputy city administrator, and assistant city administrator. The selection process heated up on the Takoma Voice email list, as well as former city attorney Tomasi Gallardo, who argued that the criteria for chief should have been announced and some mechanism for public comment should have been allowed. He pointed to the tenure of Takoma Park icon Mayor Sam Abbott and wrote, quote, that's how it was done when Sam Abbott was mayor and democracy was a thriving reality in Takoma Park. I fully support the city taking global stands, but how does Burma get more exposure than the selection of a police chief? Janet Pepin, vice chair of Between the Creeks Neighborhood Association and a member of the police selection committee, said that in the early stages she did poll her neighbors about what they wanted in a police chief. But later on, the issue of confidentiality extended even to the questions they would ask in the interview. We couldn't tell anyone, said Pepin. Pepin defended the process and Habita by saying, why blast the city administrator who has the prerogative to hire who she wants? Critics should look to the city charter and do something about it. City Administrator Bev Habita said that she selected members who had not served in other city committees and looked for a wide cross-section of the city and insists that she follow the committee's lead. Quote, the committee came up with the best candidate. Their top candidate was the one I selected, said Habita.
This story comes to us from Voice reporter Todd Post. Its doors won't open officially until later this spring, but the Takoma Park Silver Spring Co-op's much-anticipated move to Takoma Junction is finally about to happen. On March 15th, the co-op will sign a 10-year lease to move into the Turner Electric Building on the corner of Carroll and Ethan Allen Avenues. For the co-op, the move to the Junction ends an 8-year search for a larger site than its current 1,200 square foot store on Sligo Avenue. After 16 years on Sligo Avenue, the co-op finds itself in a building with 5 times more space. With all this extra room, the co-op has some ambitious plans. The new store will offer a larger selection of products as well as services that haven't been possible because of the cramped conditions at the Sligo Avenue store. Some new features include a customer service desk, payphones, restrooms, and an ATM. There will be a deli to provide sandwiches and other prepared foods. The emphasis on natural foods, exclusively vegetarian, will continue, according to Eric Buck, operations coordinator for the co-op, but now customers will also be able to find more mainstream products such as frozen vegetables, aluminum foil, and assorted housewares.
It's going to have a major effect on revitalizing this junction, says Jody Dickerson, owner of Glad Rags, a Carroll Avenue neighbor and one of the immediate beneficiaries. Carl Elefante, an architect and president of the Takoma Community Development Corporation, applauds the move. Quote, "No one doubts that the co-op itself will be a success in the junction." While the City Council and the co-op argued over parking during January's weekly council meeting, nobody who has been following the issue seriously thought the co-op would reconsider moving. Ultimately, the co-op decided to accept the city's vague but supportive pledge to help the co-op obtain the required number of parking spaces to operate successfully in the junction. Move coordinator Larry Bassett estimates the overall cost of the move will come to around $850,000, of which the co-op will put up $125,000 itself. To help with moving expenses, the City Council has peeled off a $125,000 loan of a $500,000 community development block grant, earmarked for revitalization of the junction. Additional financing will come from various community development organizations, mostly in the form of loans. If all goes according to plan, the co-op should be open for business in the new building by early fall.
Will it stay or will it go? That's the question that North Takoma residents are asking about Montgomery College these days. As the debate about the possible expansion or relocation of Montgomery College's Takoma Park campus intensifies, North Takoma residents have banded together in opposition to a quick decision by the college. College President Robert Perea has recommended that the College Board of Trustees make a final decision by the end of March. A public meeting held by the college on February 10th prompted anger among members of the North Takoma Citizens Association. While it has been known the college might move or expand, some citizens said they learned for the first time that relocation of the campus had become a feasible option. Under Concept Plan Number 1, the institution would stay at the current location and expand along Fenton Street and Georgia Avenue and would use Jessup Blair Park on the other side of the metro tracks. Under the second option, the college would move from the current site and build a new campus on East-West Highway at the present Canada Dry bottling plant. Moving to Silver Spring would cost about $114 million, while expanding the current site would only cost $72 million, according to figures released by the college. Randy Boehm, co-president of the North Takoma Citizens Association, says that the plan for a possible move worries his neighbors who enjoy the buffer of stability and security provided by the college. Another point of concern to community members is that the college will attempt to close Fenton Street under Concept Plan 1 because it will become the new center of the campus. Although a traffic study has not yet been conducted, it is apparent that Takoma Park and Silver Spring residents will protest such an action. Quote, "The college has come out with radical schemes and is scaring the community," said Boehm. "We don't want to start a war, but we are prepared to do so if necessary," he added. Nevertheless, Boehm said that he and his neighbors are eager to work with the college and believe they can come to a compromise. The North Takoma Association plans to aggressively lobby county representatives in the next few weeks. Lee Taylor, the college's media relations director, says that it's premature to assume that anything at this point. Quote, "The president is considering all options and listening to the concerns of the community."
Hyattsville beat out Takoma Park on the environmental and just plain cool front with its free bike program modeled after ones in Portland, Oregon, and Madison, Wisconsin. In those cities, bikes are free to anyone who cares to take a spin. In the Hyattsville program, riders get the use of a free bike by signing up with the city's recreation department located near Magruder Park and the Northwest Branch Trail. Ken Carter, a member of Hyattsville Organization for a Positive Environment, or HOPE, said that the city's traffic committee, also known as Face-to-Face Committee, had been thinking about what to do with the city's 60 abandoned or confiscated bikes for some time. "Our program will be more a free day rental, 9 a.m. to sundown, rather than take this bike and do what you want," said Carter. "Adults will be asked to show a driver's license, and kids will have to bring an adult the first time they sign up for a bike." Carter said the city has worked out insurance problems by requiring riders to sign a waiver of liability. Carter and members of Hope have held 2 bike tune-up parties with a goal of 10 adults and 10 kids' bikes available for the spring. The yellow paint that will cover the bikes has already been donated by David Thomas Construction Company, and now Carter is looking for a bike shop who will power spray all 20 bikes. Area high school students are being asked to give service to the new program, fill their state-required volunteer hours, and learn how to fix bikes at the same time. Carter hopes someday to join links between other jurisdictions.
And that's it for this edition of the news. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Bond.
I'm Nancy O'Donnell.
Thank you very much.
Stay tuned for Body and Soul. Howard Cohn tries his feat at dancing yoga style with the aid of dance kinetics director Robin Dean Carnes.
I'm Randy Boehm of the Gateway Coalition and a resident of Takoma Park. There's big news about the Takoma campus of Montgomery College, and the news is that it could be gone to a high-rise cluster on the east-west highway. Citizens groups that have worked for years together with college planners in an effort to find a strategy to expand the present campus into South Silver Spring are stunned that many college officials and trustees want to abandon the present campus. Before this conceptual juggernaut is allowed to lurch an inch further, there are a number of big questions that beg to be answered. What happens to the present campus in Takoma Park if it's abandoned? Is the county essentially redlining South Silver Spring with this move? Are high-rise facilities more appropriate environment for junior college students than a traditional human-scale campus? And is the additional $50 million in cost worth it to a community that's sorely in need of a regional library, a downtown rec center, and a new elementary school?
I'm the co-chairman of a group called Friends of Rwanda. My name is Herman Schwartz. Recently, Friends of Rwanda adopted a 4-year-old Rwandan girl whose parents were butchered before her eyes in the Civil War. The mail service there is very undependable, but I'm delighted to say we recently received a picture of our dear Olga. I want you to know we're holding a benefit for her at the Municipal Center in Takoma Park, March 22nd on a Saturday at 7:30. If you want to perform or you want to attend, get in touch with me. I'm at 891-1422. My name is Herman. Thanks. Hope to hear from you.
Hi and welcome. I'm Howard Cohn. I'm not really left-footed, but I am the sort of fellow who, when I get stressed up, I take out my 2-bladed axe and whack away at a couple of oak logs. This actually does the trick for me. I'm pretty good at it. But no, don't worry. I'm not about to do a demonstration. I'm not going to do my imitation of a lumberjack right here. The fact is, the art of axe swinging is not about to sweep the nation. But stick around, because you are going to witness an idea that just might do it, just might sweep the nation. It's a version of yoga and dance. It will get you moving up on the balls of your feet. It will get all that tension whooshing out of you. It will burn off calories, and it is a thing of beauty. To tell you more and to show you what I mean, I have with me Robin Dean Carnes, dancer extraordinary. How do you say that word? And owner of Moving Circles in Silver Spring. Welcome, Robin, and thank you for being here. Now, I just sort of gave you my PR flack description of what you do.
You did it very well.
Well, thank you. I copied it out of a book. There's probably a little more legitimate way of saying what I just said. But how do you describe what you do?
Well, the very short version is that I take yoga, and it's a yoga-based dance, and combine it with the cardiovascular benefits of aerobics. But I hate to even say that word because I know there's a lot of aerobic burnouts out there, including me. So it's not like an aerobics class, but you do get to have your heart pumping and you're sweating. all that good stuff. And then the third element is the sort of self-expression and fun part of dance. So you have the yoga, the flexibility, the breathing, the self-awareness.
It opens you up.
Right, opens you up and kind of centers you. And then the sweating and the aerobics, and for the fitness part, and then the dance, which is, most people think that's really fun, especially if they can get over feeling self-conscious, which is a lot of my job, is to help people get over that part.
Well, the sweating is the part that I relate to. The rest of it you're going to have to teach me.
Okay.
Now, I may sort of ill-advisedly suggest that this might be sort of faddish, but I mean, there are these ideas that come along, we grab at them, we're in love with them for a few weeks, and then they move on, we move on. But this is an idea that actually transformed your life in a way, right? Am I right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've been doing yoga for over 20 years, and I got into yoga because I had the distinct impression growing up, or grew over time, to believe that, in a way, that my body didn't really belong to me. It sort of was, it had to look a certain way, it was supposed to be a certain weight, it was supposed to be decorated a certain way, but it really wasn't my body.
You look different than you do now?
Well, I don't know if I look that different than I do now, but I felt tremendously different than I do now. And I was actually bulimic for many years, in my early teens and late teens and early 20s. And as a way of really healing myself from bulimia, I really started exercising for the first time. So I was into running and aerobics and all those things, but there was something still missing there. And when I kind of the militaristic, do it harder, do it faster, it's no good unless it hurts you kind of thing. And that's part of what I was trying to heal from, was like, it's somehow you can't enjoy your body the way that it is. So anyway, about 7 years ago, I went to a place called Kripalu, which is a yoga retreat center in Lenox, Massachusetts, and discovered what they call dance kinetics. I call yoga rhythmics.
Okay, yeah, you changed the name?
I have changed the name,
right.
yes.
And you've taken this on as your occupation and your life's devotion at this point.
Well, right.
No?
Well,
Yeah.
It's kind of one of them, one of my two life's devotions, writing and this. So,
writing and this.
Yes,
Okay,
and they're
let's talk
very
about-
well, they go together very well because they're both, artistic.
And before you got into this as your life's devotion, what did you do?
Well, just before this, I was a management consultant. So I did. I worked in Fortune 500 companies and did management consulting in the organizational development side. So I was still in the the touchy-feely side of business, definitely. But
you quit all of that.
I wore a suit and pantyhose, the whole thing. Yeah.
So you quit all that, and now you dress like this.
These are my work
These
clothes.
are your work clothes. All right. Well, our executive producer, who is desperate for higher rankings, or ratings, I should say, rankings too, whatever, has made me promise that you will teach me some of what you do tonight. And being a good sport and anything for the cause, I'm willing to do that. But first, for the viewers, for the sake of your work, I want to show the viewers here how it's really done and how it's supposed to look. And we have some footage that I shot at one of your classes a while back, which we will roll up now, and which you will now be seeing on the screen.
Yeah, I think we're seeing towards the end of a class, and I want to be clear. That the beginning, we move into the body very respectfully and very slowly. So it's the idea is to get your body really warmed up and to have you arrive in your body, as opposed to you're still on the beltway or you're making your grocery list or whatever it is, that you're actually in your body paying attention to what's going on. So we move in slowly, doing yoga type exercise, breathing, very flowing kind of movements like you're seeing now at the beginning of the class. But there are parts of the class where we move much more vigorously. And
are these beginners, people how long have these students been doing this?
Well, I have people, who call me and say, I had one really wonderful woman one day call and say, well, do I have to be really fit? And I said, well, what's going on? She said, well, I don't have a fitness level. So I said, well, do you have a pulse? Everything should be all right. So basically, I have people of all different fitness levels coming in because I tell them to move at the rate that their body wants to move. So I say nothing should hurt you. Okay.
So anybody can fit into your class.
Anybody
at any
can fit in, right? I have, my mom came to my class last night. She's 63, and then I have 20-year-olds. Actually, I have a 12-year-old girl, 2 12-year-old girls, which I'm very happy to have in my class right now. So the kinds of movements you're seeing here, as you can see, I'm leading, but what I do is I encourage people to follow me on my impulse of the kind of movement I'm using, but then to take the move and make it their own, and really to enhance it or embellish it, and make the movement feel really good to them, to connect with the inside of their body as opposed to be directed from the outside, to really direct themselves from the inside. So I'm just like, a peripheral guide, but I'm really trying to guide them inside themselves to enjoy their own bodies and see what's going on in there.
Well, you talk about chakras and opening up yourself. What is that? How does that express itself here in the dance?
Well, there's 7 energy centers or chakras in the body, and that comes out of the yogic tradition, thousands of years old. And what we do is move through the 7 chakras sequentially using different rhythms and different motions and different kinds of breathing to open up the chakras and get them really pumping, really open, and so that by the end of the class, people have this feeling of the energy, the circuit of the energy moving throughout their whole body instead of perhaps doing a kind of like weightlifting or a certain kind of exercise when you're doing repetitive motion over and over just in one part of the body. That part feels good, the rest is left out. This is holistic motion.
All right. In a minute here, you can take over the show and start teaching me what. But I mean, this is fantastic to watch this.
Well, it's interesting. It's fun to watch, and it's fun to see how different people interpret the moves. And I say to people, you could look into this class and take a snapshot, and we're all together, but we all may be moving a little differently because we all have a different way of moving, just like we all have a different way of speaking. And so we're trying to find what's our way to move, and what's our way to move just tonight, as opposed to some idea we have of how it's supposed to look, which is very confining to people. Maybe even to you. We'll see.
Maybe even to me. All right.
Maybe even to me.
Now you have your chance. Right now.
Okay.
Here now.
Okay.
All right. So you tell me what to do. I'm all yours for about 30 seconds.
Okay. 30 seconds. Okay. We'll go really fast. Well, let's actually let's go into the 3rd chakra. Okay, because that gets into the more vigorous stuff. You see some of the more flowing stuff on the tape. So can we stand up here?
Yes.
Okay. So we're actually
we can't stand up.
Well, we can't stand up.
We have to go back down.
We have to actually sit down. Okay. All right. Well, so let's see. Let's do 2nd chakra stuff. Okay. So we're going to get down. 2nd chakra, by the way, is located in the belly, the hips, the genitals. Okay. So this is the area of the body that has to do with creativity, sensualness. Like this part of the body says, "I feel." Okay.
Yes, all right.
So that part of the body likes to move in circles and very flowing kind of movements. So what I often have people do is just to start rotating their hips, and all the while they're breathing deeply, long and slow, deep breaths, and they're really focused inside. That's right, just the whooshing thing is happening. Yes. And
seaweed. Somebody said it looks like seaweed.
Yes, seaweed, right. So I get people to try to kind of think of their spines as seaweed, or think of themselves as skin filled with oil, okay? So there's just like this rolling thing back and forth. Plus, we have wonderful music going, okay?
Yes.
Music is very key to this whole thing, and we don't have any right now.
Because of some kind of federal regulation that prevents us from doing that.
But I change the music every single class, and I love music. I love all different kinds of music. And so people just are tuned by the music. Their bodies are tuned by the music. So we might, so now see what happens if you move it into your shoulders and your hips and your neck at the same time. Now, I don't see much motion happening here.
Well, that's because we have to cut this very short because our time is starting to run out. So we have to now talk about where you go, well, to participate in a more full-fledged way. Where do you have your classes?
Okay, well right now they're on Maple Avenue near the intersection of Carroll and Maple in the old post office where Liz Lerman's Dance Exchange is moving in, 7117 Maple Avenue.
And there's a phone number?
Yes, there is a phone number.
Funny
you should ask.
We might. Yoga rhythmics?
Yes.
587-1336.
That's right. And I can tell you the schedule right now. I'm running Monday night classes and Wednesday night classes. And generally it's fine to come in anytime, and the first class is free. So people can try it out since it's really different than most things people have done.
And what is it, 6 weeks, 10 weeks?
Usually 6-week sessions, yes. And I run them ongoingly.
When is, ongoingly? You can sign up at any point?
Yeah.
Oh, so you just do your 6 weeks in staggered fashion?
Right.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And is there any any quick little something that you want to add to all of this?
Let's see. Well, I guess just coming at exercise with the idea that your body has a lot to teach you is a really different perspective than we usually come at it.
Okay, so it may not change your life, but you'll have fun anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, thanks, Robin, for joining us.
You're very welcome.
I'm Howard Cohn, just trying to keep body and soul together.
Half hour on the Coffee House, Kathy Christensen's Heart to Heart with cardiologist Robert DiBianco on In Sickness and in Health, followed by Musical Traditions. David Eisner hosts Celtic musicians Sue Richards and Maggie Sansone.
I'm Toni Bruce from Dinah Rose Familiar Things, an antique parlor located in downtown Takoma Park, Maryland. We're one of the small businesses located in Takoma Park. In fact, we have 4 locations, but no matter how many we have, it seems as though we're considered micro-mini businesses and have been unable to successfully obtain any kind of help from city, county, local, federal, and no kind of assistance is available for us. We struggle, we use our family resources, but the thing that annoys me most, I think, is that when you do go to the city officials, they continue to give you stacks and stacks of papers to fill out, nothing of which is appropriate to your particular concern. I really wish that someone there would take the time, before they ask for your vote, before they even accept a job, to look into what the small business people really need and actually come out and give us a hand. We're here, we're working, we're viable, we contribute to the community, and we could use your help. Please, before you send us another packet of paper, look at it yourself and see if it's really applicable.
I am Haynes Fraser, a resident of the Tower Retirement Home in Takoma Park. We don't have to look a long way for inspiration. The 50th anniversary of World War II is in the news, and I think back to my brother, an Annapolis graduate in 1939. Immediately after his graduation, he was sent to the Pacific, a famous aircraft carrier, the USS Lexington. Soon he was in battle. Up to this time, the Japanese were winning. The Battle of the Coral Sea was the first U.S. victory in the Pacific. My brother was in charge of a gun nest, and he was shot by the Japanese. As he lay dying, he commanded his men, "Keep firing!" Then he went down with the ship. His valor was recognized.